Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another video I'm bringing you here today talking about Dragon Ball Z. But before I begin, I want to tell you something else that's Dragon Ball Z related. It's about this great new app from Amino Apps called DBZ Amino. Now what this app is a great social community for us Dragon Ball fans to come and discuss whatever we want about the Dragon Ball franchise, all within the sleek, easy to use interface on the app. And this is a great place where you can come, make new friends, and discuss all of your favorite topics with those friends and other like-minded people who love Dragon Ball and want to hear your thoughts. Now you're able to follow and see posts specifically from your friends. However, you can also make your own blogs, have favorite posts, make your own polls so you can see who's stronger or who is more popular between different characters, have your own Q&A, discussions, or public chats. But one of the things I like the most about this app is that whenever you go to specific posts, for example this one about your favorite attack, they're very in-depth. Not only can you write a lot of text as if you're writing an article or a blog, but you can also put a lot of pictures, and they can even be animated, so you can see all of these moves happen just like they do in the show. Guys, this is definitely a great resource for Dragon Ball fans like us to come meet and share our thoughts together as a fan base. So I definitely recommend you download this app right now. I have the links in the description as well as my page that you can come and follow me on, so make sure you check this out right now. Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another video. We're bringing you here today talking about Dragon Ball Super and asking the question that a lot of people are wondering recently: will Dragon Ball Super include Xenoverse as a part of its story, canon, and basically the events that happen in Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 playing out in the actual show and series of Dragon Ball Super? But to join me for this video, we have a man that you know very well by now, and his name is...
Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh from Dragon Ball Nation here. I'm glad to be around.
Yeah, so Josh, essentially what I'm trying to ask here is, will Dragon Ball Super, with the coming of Future Trunks, you know, we all know again about how Future Trunks in Xenoverse was Time Patrol Trunks, and people will always point out that outfit he's currently wearing is very reminiscent of the outfit that he wore in the Xenoverse games. And shortly after Trunks was announced to be returning to Dragon Ball Super, Xenoverse 2 was announced, and the trailer was talking about how essentially you're going to be able to possibly change the outcome of certain key events. Now, do you think any of this is going to tie into Dragon Ball Super at all, or do you think it's just, you know, promotional tactics or try to get people to stay on their feet and just be hyped about Dragon Ball?
I mean, this is kind of like how it was last year with Resurrection F. We saw Xenoverse and Resurrection F very close together last year in 2015, and I don't really think it's any different this year. I'm not saying it wouldn't work or anything like that. We'll talk about that later, but I don't see Xenoverse stuff being a part of the Dragon Ball Super storyline, even though Toriyama's just doing like the outlines of the stories.
Yeah.
It's not very Toriyama-like to incorporate video game stuff, even though Dragon Ball Online was something that he did do stuff with, and Toa and Mira and some other stuff from Xenoverse are taken from Dragon Ball Online. And I believe, from what I remember, Toriyama liked the idea of Xenoverse, or he looked at it and approved the game and said it was cool.
And the editorial staff are the ones who have supposedly suggested to Toriyama to do the idea of, you know, Future Trunks coming back and this perhaps black or dark Goku.
Right, and then he went back and did his own outline of that. I think it's how it went down.
Yeah.
But as for the characters being in there, I don't think so. I know there's that talk, you know, obviously we had the interview a while back, not even a while back, it's not even that long ago at this point, about a future villain possibly having something to do with a major role with like the white color scheme.
Yeah.
You know, something like Toa and Mira maybe. That wasn't said, but you know, the whole white aesthetic, that is something that's hinted at, and that is a big focus of those two characters, Toa and Mira. As for like, you know, the future Trunks with the similar design as the Xenoverse Trunks, the Time Patroller one, it's really just the undershirt, and it's a green turtleneck-ish type of thing. And it's just a turtleneck, and they don't even look that similar, and color schemes could change in the final product. We see his hair is blue here in the Toriyama design.
So clearly he's a Super Saiyan Blue, Josh.
Yes, Mike, he's Super Saiyan Blue. But no, I don't really think it's something that's going to happen, but I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about if it'd work or not, or if I think it would fit in, because I could go on to that.
Well, I think in terms of it actually happening, you know, it might just be people kind of grasping at straws or really wanting the video game to be incorporated into the series because they really liked it. But do you think it actually would work if they attempted to do so, or do you think that the products are just so different that it really just would not mesh and flow?
No, there is a plausibility with the whole story in this, and especially with Trunks coming back. I do think it could work if it's done properly. The question is if it can be done properly, because we know know that the Xenoverse time travel is not exactly how Trunks' original time travel worked in the Cell and Android saga. But the thing about Xenoverse and what's different is they're at Tokitoga City, which is like the central hub of all of time. So they can kind of manipulate. It's kind of a bad excuse in some ways, and it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
But they kind of manipulate time on its most basic forms, essentially.
Yes.
It's more of a Back to the Future type of time travel, but they have an excuse to why it works. Do I think though that Towa and Mira would be cool villains to introduce? I think it could work. I don't think it's gonna happen, and I feel like I would rather have something else happen. Let's say that.
Yeah.
That's what I would prefer, but it's something that could work, but it would be very un-Toriyama-like, and it would be very surprising and very difficult to pull off. I feel like it would be more for the casual fans, they'd like it, but for us hardcore fans and people that follow the series for a while and analyze it, it would be very difficult to pull off.
Yeah, and I do think that if it did happen, it might happen akin to what Toriyama did with Dragon Ball Minus, in which he took Bardock, who was created by Toei and not him, and he incorporated him into the manga. First off, he incorporated him into the manga during the showdown between Goku and Frieza, on Namek for the first time, but then he incorporated it into Dragon Ball Minus and kind of rewrote his story in many ways. So it's entirely possible that if they reincorporated villains, say Towa and Mira, they would possibly, rework them for Toriyama, like in the way that he wants to do it, so that things could be changed slightly. But then again, I'm sure that a lot of people might complain because why don't you just give us the real versions, Toriyama? I'm sure they'll say.
Yeah, I get it. And if he did incorporate them, it's tough to say because he would just be doing an outline, obviously.
Yeah.
But maybe he would drastically change their characters or something, or, how they're presented. I'm sure they have the same voice actors and stuff, but it's interesting to think of. I don't think it's 100% far-fetched to say they could be in the story, but it's very unlikely. That's just my final argument for it. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with what you're saying, to be honest, because at the end of the day, even though a lot of people really want this to happen, and even though Toyotaro, was suggested to maybe introduce his own ideas so we could get something like a Zycor or something, with the door open with Xenoverse 2 coming out and Toei bringing back Dragon Ball Super for all of these kind of crossovers, at the end of the day, I don't really think it's going to happen, and I kind of feel like the video games and the show should just stay separate because they're both really fun, good depictions that you can go and you can enjoy in different ways, but we don't really need to redo the same things over and over. Let's have Toriyama kind of have his own unique ideas that he brings to us rather than redoing what we've already seen before.
Exactly, and it's going to diminish the story of Xenoverse, in my opinion, a little bit too, because those characters are going to be less unique.
Absolutely. So, you heard our own thoughts, but let's hear yours down below in the comments section. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Do you want Dragon Ball Xenoverse and other video game characters and elements from the series to be in Dragon Ball Super and to show up, or would you rather they stay separate? Let us know down below. Also, don't forget to check out Josh's channel and subscribe to him for awesome videos like these, and as I always say, stick around because there's a lot more to come in the future.
Toriyama needs to go to the gym and hire somebody to help him lift the triceps and the biceps because he's a scrawny Japanese man. Wow.
Mitsubishi, Suzuki, Honda, and all of them are scrawny compared to me.
Wow.